Imagine a contractor, right? They just climbed down from your roof.
Right.
And they found the leak. They know exactly how to fix it. And quite frankly, they have the best physical craftsmanship in the city.
Yeah, they're the best at what they do.
Exactly. So you'd think they just won your business right there on the lawn,
Yeah,
right?
you really would.
But wrong.
Uh,
The sale is actually like right about to be lost, and it has absolutely nothing to do with hammers or nails or shingles.
yeah, it is the ultimate blind spot for so many incredibly talented professionals.
Oh, for sure.
Because, we tend to view manual expertise as the deciding factor. We assume the physical reality of the job is just the whole story.
Like if I can swing the hammer best, I get the job.
Exactly, but
Yeah.
the psychological reality happening with the customer is entirely different.
Well, welcome to today's deep dive. We are so thrilled to have you here, especially if you consider yourself, the learner.
Mm.
You are someone who loves to figure out the hidden mechanisms behind why things work or why they spectacularly fail.
Which happens a lot.
It really does. So today, we're unpacking this fascinating operational blueprint. It's titled The Roofing Proposal System, From Inspection to Signed Contract.
And right out of the gate, we need to establish that you do not need to be a roofing contractor to get immense value out of this discussion.
No, not even a little bit.
Yeah.
You are about to get a total masterclass in high-stakes communication, operational consistency, and really the architecture of trust.
Right.
Because our mission today is to explore how a seemingly mundane piece of paperwork like just the proposal is actually the critical make-or-break bridge between a physical inspection and a signed contract.
What's fascinating here is the underlying psychology of the homeowner in that exact moment.
Okay.
Because, for a homeowner, buying a new roof is not some casual Friday afternoon purchase.
Definitely not.
No, it is an incredibly high-trust, high-risk decision. Just think about what is at stake. Your roof protects your family, your belongings, and usually your biggest financial asset.
Your whole house.
Yeah, your whole house. So when a homeowner is looking at 2 or 3 different contractors, they aren't just scanning the bottom of the page for the lowest price.
Right, which is what we usually assume, right?
Exactly. We assume it's just about price. But they're evaluating clarity. They are desperately looking for confidence. They are staring at a piece of documentation and asking themselves, like, which of these companies reduces my anxiety the most?
Okay, let's unpack this. Because if trust is the ultimate currency here, how exactly are highly skilled contractors going bankrupt in that department?
It's a great question.
Because to me, a bad roofing proposal feels a lot like going to a doctor who gives you this highly complex, terrifying diagnosis, but then refuses to write down the actual treatment plan.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Like they just look at you and say, yeah, you're really sick. It'll be 10 grand to fix it. I'll see you Tuesday. And then they just walk out of the room.
That is exactly what it's like.
You'd panic.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't let them near you with a scalpel.
No, you'd run. And that doctor analogy maps perfectly onto the operational data we're looking at today.
Really?
Yeah, this guide highlights several deal-killing mistakes that contractors make, which essentially mimic that exact medical scenario.
Okay, so what's the first one?
Well, the first, and arguably the most common, is just a timing failure. Simply sending the proposal too late. A contractor inspects a roof, verbally promises to send an estimate, and then 3 or 4 days go by in total silence.
But wait, couldn't a busy contractor argue that a delay just proves they are in high demand?
Sure.
Like, hey, I'm slow to respond because I'm out here doing so much great work.
They could argue that, but it completely ignores the homeowner's state of mind.
Right.
To the homeowner sitting under a water-stained ceiling, that delay doesn't communicate demand, it communicates unreliability.
Oh, that makes sense.
Because in their mind, if you are this agonizingly slow just to ask for my money,
Yeah.
how slow are you going to be when my entire roof is torn off and the forecast calls for rain?
Yikes.
Exactly. You've introduced fear before the project has even started.
That completely reframes the timeline. It sets a terrified precedent. So beyond just, dragging their feet, what are the other red flags the data shows?
Vague descriptions of the scope of work.
Okay.
Imagine receiving a piece of paper that just says, remove old roof, install new roof, $15,000.
Wow. Very helpful.
Right. It gives the buyer absolutely no understanding of what they are actually financing. It's just a black box of pricing.
Right.
And then another massive unforced error is failing to include photographic evidence from the physical inspection.
Which is genuinely wild when you think about it. Every single person walking the earth today have a high-definition camera sitting in their pocket.
Precisely.
Yeah.
If you were just 30 feet up in the air on my roof and you climbed down to tell me that my chimney flashing is rusted through and my wooden decking is completely rotting,
You'd want to see it.
why wouldn't you show me? When a professional fails to provide photographic proof, they are demanding blind trust from a total stranger.
Which is a huge ask.
Huge. Furthermore, many contractors make the mistake of lumping all their pricing options into one confusing number.
Oh, I hate that.
Right. They throw the necessary structural repairs, the optional cosmetic upgrades, and the premium shingle materials all into a single, terrifying price tag.
Leaving the homeowner completely unable to separate, like, a luxury from a necessity.
Exactly.
They just see a wall of cost and freeze up.
And that freeze is the death of the sale. By failing to document the specific materials, failing to set a timeline, and just dumping all the costs into one bucket, the contractor drastically increases the homeowner's perceived risk.
Wow.
And here is the ultimate tragedy of this scenario. That contractors' physical roofing work might be absolute top tier.
Right, they could be a genius.
They might lay the straightest shingles in the entire state. But because their paperwork makes them look like a disorganized amateur, they will lose the job to a mediocre roofer with a professional presentation.
Because if ambiguity is the enemy of trust, then the contractor's only weapon is extreme, almost obsessive clarity.
Yes.
So let's look at how they actually build that trust on paper. Moving from these disastrous mistakes to the anatomy of a perfect solution.
Which raises an important question, right? What actually constitutes a trust document?
Here's where it gets really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Because the blueprint we're analyzing demands an unbelievable amount of detail. And instead of just viewing it as a checklist, the guide groups these requirements into psychological categories. It's not just a parts list. First, you have your visual proof.
Right.
This includes the customer's exact information, the specific property address, detailed inspection findings, and those high-definition photos of the damage we just mentioned. Then you have your financial boundaries. This means calling out the exact roof system, an itemized list of materials, a clear labor description, and precise payment terms.
Okay.
And finally, you have your safety nets. This includes the applicable warranties, an expiration date for the proposal, definitive next steps, and specific exclusions of what the contractor is not going to do.
And when you synthesize all of that, you realize this document's primary function is to eliminate the homeowner's imagination.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
Because imagination in a high-stakes purchase usually defaults to worst-case scenarios.
Yeah. What if they tear a hole in my ceiling?
Exactly. What if they leave nails everywhere?
By clearly explaining what they are buying, exactly why the work matters, and how the process will unfold, the professional proves they're organized enough to manage a 5-figure investment.
I have to push back a little on the sheer volume of information, though.
Okay, sure. Because let's take those exclusions you mentioned as part of the safety net.
Yeah.
If a contractor is coming to my house to fix my roof, why do I need a multi-page document explicitly telling me they aren't going to fix my gutters or that they aren't responsible for my satellite dish?
Right.
Isn't there a risk of overwhelming the buyer with legalistic data? I mean, handing him an encyclopedia might cause his own kind of anxiety.
It's a very valid concern, and honestly, it's a trap a lot of businesses fall into when they overcompensate and just dump a raw spreadsheet onto a client.
Right, nobody wants that.
No. However, the data makes a crucial distinction between raw data and a curated map. The detail isn't there to overwhelm. It is there to protect both parties by eliminating the gray areas.
Okay, give me an example.
Let's take your exclusion example. Imagine a contractor tears off an old roof, and a piece of heavy debris falls and crushes the homeowner's prize-winning rose bush.
Oh, no.
Yeah. If the proposal didn't explicitly address landscaping protection or debris removal, you now have a furious homeowner and a damaged reputation.
I see. So if the proposal explicitly states, like, includes disposal of all old roofing materials and a magnetic sweep of the driveway for nails, but excludes liability for pre-existing driveway cracks or minor landscaping disruption, that gray area vanishes.
Boy.
The boundaries are set before the hammer swings.
Exactly. It shows the homeowner that you have done this hundreds of times. You have anticipated the things they didn't even know they should be worried about.
Wow.
It demonstrates profound competence.
So the detail isn't just noise, it's a highly calibrated map.
Yes.
And a good map doesn't confuse you. It makes you feel safe.
Right.
Because you know exactly where you are, what the terrain looks like, and where you're going.
That is the perfect way to frame it.
Thanks.
But a perfect map is entirely useless if it stays locked in the glove box.
Right. Which brings us to the operational mechanics of delivery.
Yes.
Because if extreme clarity is the weapon, speed is the delivery mechanism. A perfect map doesn't help if you hand it to the driver a month after the road trip was supposed to start. The blueprint emphasizes that how and when you deliver this trust document is just as critical as the typography and the photos inside it.
Speed and execution. In the contracting world, the timeline of trust is incredibly compressed.
Let's look at a very specific, high-stress scenario outlined in the data. Post-storm restoration.
Oh, this is a big one.
Picture a massive, catastrophic hailstorm that just rolled through a dense neighborhood. Every single house has damage.
Yeah, chaos.
Every homeowner is stressed out, frantically dialing their insurance company, listening to the ominous sound of chainsaws and tarps flapping in the wind.
Sounds awful.
It is. So in that chaotic environment, the first contractor who can physically show up, document the property, clearly explain the problem with photographic evidence, and deliver a professional proposal rapidly.
They win.
They don't just have an advantage. They effectively own the neighborhood.
Yep.
Speed is the ultimate differentiator when chaos hits.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it requires a total paradigm shift regarding the timeline of a sale.
What do you mean?
Well, sending that perfectly crafted email is not the finish line.
Oh.
Many professionals hit send and breathe a sigh of relief, thinking, my job is done, the ball is in their court.
Right. I did my part.
Right. But the operational standard here insists that sending the proposal is actually the starting gun for the critical follow-up phase.
So if sending the email isn't the finish line, it means the contractor essentially has to transition from being an estimator to acting as a project manager before they even have the job secured.
Exactly.
How do they follow up relentlessly without sounding like a desperate telemarketer trying to hit a quota?
By relying on a structured cadence rather than emotional impulse,
Okay.
the guide requires a highly disciplined sequence. It starts with a simple same-day confirmation that the proposal was actually received and didn't bounce into a spam folder.
Just a quick text or call.
Yeah, just a helpful touch point. Then, a scheduled next-day check-in, specifically designed to see if the homeowner has any initial questions after digesting that detailed map you provided. From there, the system dictates structured objection handling, timed reminders, and clear communication of the next steps.
And what stands out to me is how that structure totally eliminates the need for pushy shark-like sales tactics.
Yes, completely.
You never have to call someone and aggressively demand, are you ready to sign the contract yet?
Nobody wants to make that call.
No. Instead, you are systematically reaching out to offer clarity. You're calling to say, hey, I know the section on material warranties can be dense. Did you want me to clarify the wind rating on those shingles?
Right.
It replaces hype with helpfulness. You stop being a salesperson and you start being a guide.
Yes. But being a reliable guide requires immense operational discipline behind the scenes.
Oh, I bet.
Doing this flawlessly for 1 or 2 customers takes focus. Doing it for 50 customers simultaneously requires an ironclad system.
Which is where we hit the ceiling of human capability. To execute high-speed, high-detail proposals and relentless follow-up, a single, incredibly dedicated contractor might be able to muscle through it.
Maybe for a little while?
Right. They work until midnight, they sacrifice their weekends, they burn the candle at both ends.
Yeah.
But you can't scale that.
No.
You can't build a massive roofing company on the back of one person's caffeine intake.
It is mathematically impossible to scale sheer willpower.
Totally.
The friction will eventually burn the business down.
Let's paint a vivid picture of what that friction looks like, pulling straight from the warnings in our guide.
Okay.
Imagine a roofing business owner trying to run a growing company out of the front seat of their pickup truck.
Oh, boy.
They are relying entirely on their own memory to know which homeowner they need to call back on Tuesday.
Nightmare.
They have this scattered, coffee-stained notebook sliding around on the dashboard filled with random roof measurements and phone numbers without names.
Yep, we've all seen it.
And they're trying to manage a chaotic web of text messages between their sales reps, their material suppliers, and their frantic customers. It is a recipe for a massive operational heart attack.
It really is.
So what does this all mean for the business owner who is desperately trying to scale beyond the dashboard notebook?
It means they have to mandate ruthless operational consistency.
Ruthless.
Yes. This guide is absolutely uncompromising on this point. Every single sales representative in the company must follow the exact same proposal process.
Okay.
They use the same digital templates, they take the exact same types of photos from the same angles, they include the same standardized warranties, and they follow the exact same multi-day follow-up cadence.
Total uniformity across the board.
Complete uniformity, because that consistency achieves several vital things for a scaling business.
Such as?
Well, first, it protects the company's brand. A customer gets the exact same premium high-trust experience regardless of whether the company's best veteran rep or their newest hire showed up at the front door.
That's huge.
Right. Second, it drastically reduces financial errors. No one forgets to charge for the dumpster rental or the specialized flashing because it's hard-coded into the standardized process.
Hi.
But third, and most importantly for the owner, it provides actual visibility into the company's health.
Meaning the owner can finally look at a computer screen and know exactly how many jobs they are likely to close this month.
Exactly.
Instead of staring at a pile of unreturned voicemails and just hoping for the best.
Exactly. They transition from guessing to knowing. And to achieve that, the modern proposal cannot exist as an isolated Word document floating around on someone's laptop. It has to be part of a connected digital ecosystem.
Right.
Once the homeowner signs that trust document, the approved scope of work should seamlessly convert into the active invoice.
Oh, that's smart.
The itemized material list should seamlessly generate the purchase order for the local supplier.
Wow.
The labor estimate should flow directly into the company's job costing metrics.
So the blueprint heavily implies the necessity of a CRM like a customer relationship management software acting as the single unified brain for the business.
Yes, exactly.
It ties the initial lead, the inspection photos, the estimate, and the final contract all together.
Yeah. You aren't copying and pasting a customer's address from a text message into a spreadsheet and then into an accounting software. It just flows.
Because every single time a human being has to transfer data manually, you introduce a point of friction and the potential for a catastrophic error.
Like a typo.
A transposed digit on a material order can cost thousands of dollars.
Ouch.
A connected system removes that friction. It handles the memory and the routing, which allows the contractor to focus all their human energy on the actual craftsmanship and the personal relationship with the customer.
Right.
Rather than fighting a losing battle against their own paperwork.
Okay, we have covered some serious ground today.
We really have.
Let's recap the journey for you, our listener. We started by debunking a massive industry myth. This idea that a contracting sale is one up on the roof through sheer physical competence.
Which is false.
We've learned that a proposal is not merely a price quote. It is a carefully engineered psychological bridge of trust.
We've seen how a lack of detail acts exactly like a doctor withholding a vital treatment plan, creating immense anxiety for the buyer.
Right.
And we've explored how speed, high definition, clarity-like photographic evidence, and strict boundaries around exclusions, along with a relentless, helpful follow-up cadence, are what truly separate the scaling professionals from the dashboard amateurs.
And if we look at the ultimate takeaway of this entire deep dive, it's that these lessons are absolutely not confined to the roofing industry.
Oh, not at all.
The mechanics of trust are universal across human interaction.
Yeah.
Anytime you are asking someone to trust you with a big decision, a significant financial investment, or a major operational change, your documentation and your organized process will speak far louder than your verbal promises.
So true.
Your expertise and your charm might get you in the door, but your organization is what actually gets the contract signed.
I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over today, building right on that universal application. Think about the last time you pitched a new idea, a new service, or even a major project to your boss, your board, or a client. Think back to the document or the slide deck you handed them across the table. Did your proposal focus entirely on the cost and the shiny end result?
Usually does.
Right. Or did you actively design it to reduce their perceived risk?
Wow.
Did you include the corporate equivalent of those inspection photos to prove you understand the current problem?
Yeah,
Did you include exclusions to clearly define the boundaries of your project?
that's a great point.
How can you take the operational blueprint we've unpacked today and turn your very next pitch into a true trust document that makes your audience feel completely safe saying yes?
It really comes down to handing over that clear written treatment plan rather than just pointing at the symptoms.
Yes, and anticipating the questions they haven't even thought to ask yet.
Exactly.
The physical work, or the brilliant new idea, is just the starting line. The bridge of trust is built on paper. Thank you so much for joining us on this Deep Dive Learner. We will catch you next time.